America's first test tube baby, born 3 years after the world's first. It was a global story that made headlines for not only the miracle that it was, but for concerns that science and medicine had run amok. And today we are joined by America's first test tube baby, Elizabeth Carr, along with Angie Beltsos of Vios Fertility Institute. Thank you so much, ladies, both of you, for joining us here today. You know, obviously you don't remember being born, but I'm curious as to what your parents told you about that time and how you felt growing up being America's first test tube baby.
Right, so my first press conference was at 3 days old. So when people ask me how did I find out, I say, I feel like I've always known how I was born. But I learned about really my birth from my doctors when I was 7. They showed me the Nova documentary of my birth and explained it in great detail that a 7-year-old didn't quite understand.
Right.
So that's how I learned of my birth.
Now, I understand that because of Louise Brown, the world's first test tube baby, that your family was a little shy about going public with your life and what was going on. But you wrote a book. Why did you decide to come out and talk about this?
Well, I haven't written a book yet.
Okay.
It's in the works. But my family really decided that if our loss of privacy would help somebody figure out what the options were to deal with their infertility, then it would be worth it to tell our story.
And that's why you're doing this, too. And so, Dr. Beltsos, how far have we come since she was born?
Right? We have some of these elemental parts that remain the same. We need a good egg, we need fast-swimming sperm, and a healthy uterus. Those elements are the same. However, between the media that has been developed to grow embryos in a dish for a few days and some of the incubators, as well as pre-implantation genetic screening. So at Vios Fertility and the Midwest Reproductive Symposium, where we're celebrating some of these monumental changes that have happened in our field, we're also bringing to the table some of the latest scientific developments of how to really increase success rates.
So what would you say the biggest advancement has been since IVF?
I think there are 3 important things. One is that it is very important to try to transfer one embryo. You know, the multiple births are risky for mom and baby.
Which was happening a lot early on.
Because we just put them all in and
put them all in there,
and hope something stuck.
Right.
You know, the second thing that has been really a game changer and transformative for the field is what they call PGS, which is genetic testing of an embryo, which is one more facet to help us understand the health of the embryo. And then the third thing is being able to freeze eggs. So a lot of women aren't quite ready to have a baby.
Right.
And if you're not, you should think about checking your fertility health and
those are definitely major advancements. Okay, back to you now. So you're in town this weekend for the symposium that the doctor just mentioned, and you are going to be meeting for the first time the world's first IVF baby you've never met before.
That's right. That's right.
How do you feel about that?
I'm really excited. I think she is the only other person in the world who knows what it was like to grow up with all the media attention and, you know, have complete strangers come up to you and tell you their infertility story.
You know, and I have to ask you too. A lot of early on, over the years, people still wonder. You know, if you're an IVF baby, are you at higher risk for certain things? Does this put you in a different position? But you look healthy and happy, and you're here to say what about that?
So they've done multiple tests. I actually remember being a young child and having the gel in my hair for people monitoring my brain waves. And so, you know, I feel like we have the same occurrences, and I think you'll speak to this, of the normal amount of diseases and other issues that babies born the normal way go through. We have the same kind of statistics in IVF.
So I have to ask you, deep down inside, did you ever kind of resent being the first because you kind of were an experiment?
I don't think I've resented it. I think there are various points in my life when it's been hard to deal with all the media attention, especially when you're an awkward preteen and you have camera crews following you around.
But now you're embracing it and you're trying to help others doing the same.
Absolutely. I think knowing your options is so important, and that's why, you know, I continue to speak out.
Doctor, thank you for coming in today, and it's so nice to meet you, and good luck with meeting the world's first. Hope we'll see lots of pictures, right?
Definitely.
Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it. And